This video is going to be an introduction to the Cartesian coordinate system. Sometimes this is called just a coordinate graph or an XY graph or just a graph. Basically, we're talking about something that looks like this. You've probably seen these things before. So what I want to do is just talk about the different parts of it, show you how a graph is constructed and so on. So a Cartesian graph consists of basically two main lines. There's one line that goes left to right, and this is called the x-axis. Sometimes it's called the horizontal axis. Horizontal because it goes across left and right like the horizon. And you can basically think of this as a number line. So with the number line, we have someplace in the middle, usually that's going to be 0. And then we have these marks called tick marks. And we usually want to show how far over to the left or right we're going each time we get to a tick mark. So we could label them 1, 2, 3. You don't have to label all of them because after a while you get the picture. Going to the left, we've got negative numbers, and they get more negative as we go to the left. And so this is just a number line. You've dealt with these things before. Now there's a second line. The second line goes up and down. It goes through that point where the x-axis has a 0, and this is called the y-axis. It's also a number line. We can call this, besides the y-axis, they'll sometimes call it the vertical axis. We have tick marks on this line as well. I'll just label a few of them. As we go higher up, the numbers get bigger. When we go down, they get smaller. When we go down below the x-axis, they become negative. The place in the middle where the two lines meet is called the origin. So the origin is where we have 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. I could maybe show that if I wanted to by showing 0, 0. Now, each of these 4 quarters of the graph is called a quadrant. And the quadrants are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually they number them with Roman numerals, so this will be called quadrant 1, or the first quadrant, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And you may be asked whether points in here, we'll get to that in the next video, but just to cover it here first, you may be asked whether points in here are positive, are both positive, or positive and negative, and so on. And here's all they're talking about. If you think about the x numbers over this way, they're all positive. And if you think about the y numbers over this way, they're all positive. So numbers in here, when we go to graph them, are going to be both positive and positive. Over here, my x numbers are negative, my y numbers are positive. So anything inside here is going to be negative and positive. Down in this third quadrant, the x numbers are negative, the y numbers are negative. So the third quadrant numbers are all going to be negative and negative. And in the fourth quadrant, I'm back again with positive x numbers. So I'll show that with my x number first is positive, and my y numbers are negative. We're below this x-axis. So everything in here is positive and then negative. Okay, that's it for now. This basically was about naming the different parts and labeling them and so on. In the next video, we'll talk about actually placing points in the graph. Okay, take care. I'll see you next time.